I am your Sergeant Thomas. Welcome to the meeting number 616 of Medley Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster International is a non-profit educational organization that teach the public speaking and leadership skills through the worldwide network of 16,200 clubs in 145 countries. Medley Toastmasters Club was chartered on 3rd June of 2008 at Gandhinagar Club at Yale. I would like to share the mission of the Toastmasters Club. We provide the supportive and positive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills. Resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. In every online Toastmasters meeting, we follow these ground rules. Rule number 1, if you're not a speaker, kindly put yourself on mute. Rule number 2, kindly switch off the videos when you are moving around. Rule number 3, speakers are requested to refrain from making any reference related to politics, sex, or religion in their speeches. 4th rule, kindly attend every meeting in a formal attire. Rule number 5, guests are requested to prefix your name with the word guest. That is, if Santosh is a guest, it will be guest-Santosh. I wish you all a wonderful meetings. Now I would like to welcome our club president. Our club president works for the Nissan Motors, heading South Asia Business Unit. He has been associated with the Toastmaster Internationals for over 2 decades and also a proud Medleyan since 2019. He also catered for the former Vice President Education in the last terms. Let us put our hands together in welcoming our club president, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much, Mohan, for that wonderful introduction and highlighting what we in Toastmasters look forward to in the meetings. And today, one of the key things which I wanted to share is that amazing area contest that we had, and as proud Medleyans, we have both the first place being for Medley for the area contest by DTM Thomas. Congratulations, sir, for coming up and representing it in the division, and also to John, who has come up as the second position in the international speech contest. And that's an amazing thing that I hope we will. This is the first time we are having it the ISC and table topic in District 120, and I'm sure we will be able to get Medley represented in the District 120. I wish them all the best. And today we have a wonderful theme and very suspicious or not suspicious, which talks like about revolution and something which is very intriguing. But before that, let me introduce our guest for today, Justin. He has been introduced by Sunil to our club. Justin, other than your introduction to club, just have tell us about yourself and how you came to know about Toastmasters.
Yeah, good afternoon to all. I'm very happy to join today the meeting. My name is Justin Xavier. My hometown is Tanjavur. I'm working in cognizant technology as a software engineer. Sunil Jose is my family friend. So he always introducing me. You can join the Toastmaster. You can develop your leadership skill. So the right time I joined, but a little late. But I visited one time in an Adayar club because at that time my daughter is also participating Medley Claver Club.
Okay.
So that time I came I think 1.5 years before one program at Clever Club and Medley Toastmaster Club. Some
Okay.
mixed some competition, some event was happened. That time I attend, I was impressed, but my nature of job, I need to travel all the weekend, Bangalore and Chennai. So I could not join in Toastmaster. I'm really happy to join and meet you all. I will develop my skill set and get
Excellent.
new relationship to our guys.
Yeah.
I'm
We are going with hybrid meeting from next time onwards, which means like we will have both online and offline. And welcome Justin as a guest, and looking forward to you being a Medleyan in the near future. Guest Murli, would you like to just introduce yourself and?
Thank you, Raghu sir, for this opportunity. I am Murlidhar, and I'm working in a company called Caterpillar for about 18 years. So, I've been introduced to Toastmaster because of the clubs we have in Caterpillar. So I've been I've been also exposed to, in Medley clubs, but I was attending as a guest for about I on and off. I used to attend as a guest once in a while, maybe once in a year or twice in a year. I used to attend, but now I thought, after this lockdown, I thought like, okay, let me just go ahead sign up for Toastmaster, and looking forward to sign up as a member soon.
Excellent.
So
Welcome,
all
Murli.
about
Welcome, Murli, to Medley. I hope you will have a wonderful meeting and enjoy the meetings today. Priyanka, are you a guest or Priyanka Karthik?
Hi, I'm Priyanka.
Yes,
So
please.
one of my friends suggested me to participate here and develop the skills. So
Excellent.
friend is at
Welcome.
yeah.
Where do you work and how do you come to know about Toastmasters?
So I work in a startup as a project manager.
Okay.
A startup in Chennai, Atlas Intelligence Private Limited, where we do develop psychometric tagging. So he suggested to attend the thing and join the course, and he's a member of, and that's why I came here too.
Excellent. Welcome, Priyanka. And when we're talking about the area counters, the other big thing what I felt was it was completely chaired by Medley, and really congratulations to Sharanya, Toastmaster Shruti, Mohan, Lakshmi Ramesh, and all making that area counters one experience and representing Medley in those contests. That's something which is really good. And what I understood is they had a lot of things to learn, and that's something which we learn in Toastmasters. Like whether it is communications or leadership, and the various exposure that we get, whether it is offline and online, and that's something where I, as a Toastmaster, we learn, and that's an experience which I had been in the fraternity for quite long. And for having today's meeting, we have a wonderful Toastmaster who is a musician, and which we came to know now, and with a wonderful topic which I am eagerly waiting to understand what that theme is all about. Let's put our hands to welcome Toastmaster Rohit as the TMOD for today. Over to you, Rohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghunath, for this warm introduction. I'm not a full-time musician, but I'm part-time. I'm just a novice in music. So it's okay. All right, a very good afternoon to fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is my pleasure to serve you as the Toastmaster of the day today. Before introducing the theme of the day, let me explain the agenda for the meeting to the guests. Agenda of the meeting. So our Toastmaster meeting in general is divided in 3 sessions, but today we have 4 sessions. The first session is the prepared speech session. The second session is the table topic session. The third is the evaluation or the feedback session. Fourth will be an exciting and educative session on mentoring. Before we start with the prepared speech, let me talk about today's theme of the day, that is revolutionary road. On March, on 13th March, this very day in 1940, a 40-year-old man dressed like a perfect English gentleman pulled out a Smith's and Wesson revolver that was concealed inside a book in a meeting hall in London and fired 6 rounds into a group of people. 2 shots hit a 75-year-old man, killing him on the spot. The gunman, a martyr to many Indians, was Udham Singh. Udham Singh was born in Amritsar to a peasant family and grew up in a community orphanage as he lost his parents when he was just a boy. Michael O'Dwyer, the retired British official who was killed on the spot, 21 years earlier, he served as the Lieutenant Governor of Punjab. Michael O'Dwyer endorsed and supported the most heinous and horrendous massacres of Indians by the British rule. To leave it with that, before I continue, let me introduce the general evaluator of the day, that is Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Dinesh, after completing his education in Singapore, joined his family construction business. He is currently working he's also the current VP membership at a club. According to Toastmaster Dinesh, I asked him what is a historical event in India. So according to him, he said it is Jallikattu protest that happened in 2017 is an historical event and considers people consider and believe in the Gandhian values of non-violence. So over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh, to introduce us and take us through the general evaluators procedure objectives for today.
Thank you, Toastmasters today, Rohit. A very good afternoon, Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, I will be the general evaluator for this meeting. And the role of the general evaluator is to evaluate the entire meeting, right from the starting to the end. From the time the meeting starts 2:55 till the meeting closes. And to help me, I have two task people with me. The first members will be from the tag team. They consist of the timer, R counter, and a grammarian. And the next team will be the evaluation team. They will evaluate the prepared speech sessions. First, I will introduce the timer for today's meeting. Toastmaster Surya K. Surya is a subcommittee of the Vice President membership which I currently hold. He has also been the VP for 1 year. And it's a very big task being VP for continuously for 1 year, Surya. And also he's working as a telecom company as a HR business partner. Toastmaster Surya, can you read out the timer report, please?
Hi, good afternoon all fellow Toastmasters and guests. So today my role is timer, which is a straightforward, typical narrow role that I'm playing today. So my responsibility is to time each and every speeches as TMOD referred as 3 different sections, right? Prepared speech, table topic speech, and evaluation. We have, in addition to it, we have an education session, which I will be timing. And I have 3 colors to indicate the time. One is green, which says qualified time, yellow, which is a target time, and red, which is a maximum time, right? I will be indicating these time through my background color change, right? For a prepared speech, green comes at 5th minute, yellow at 6th minute, and red at 7th minute. And you will have 30 seconds to complete the speech. Namely, for table topic speech, where guests would be called, it will be 1st minute green, 1 minute 30 second yellow, and 2 minutes red, and you will have 30 seconds to wind up your speech. For evaluation, it is 2 minutes green, 2:30 yellow, and 3 minutes red. And today we have an educational session as well. So my plan is to change the background color for prepared speeches. Hence, I request prepared speakers to pin my video on your screen. And for table topics, people would be called in a random way and you will not have much of time to pin my video. Hence, I've also prepared a slide with the same colors where I will be sharing my screen and indicating the time, right? For prepared speech and evaluation, I'll be changing my background color. For table topics, it is going to be presentation through screen sharing. All right, over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya, for the detailed timer objectives. Over to our counter today is being played by a newly joined member, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. She joined very recently. She's a computer science engineering graduate who passed out in the year 2020. She is born and brought up in Tuticorin. She is a project support officer at AstraZeneca Private Limited. I asked her about the theme of the day, and her view was sometimes in our life we always have to face many struggles and we have to overcome them in a very enthusiastic manner. Welcome to Medley, and I look forward to your objectives, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi.
Thank you, Dinesh, Toastmaster Dinesh. Good afternoon to all fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I have taken up the role of R counter. So the purpose of R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. So during the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and, you know, all these. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, and this means, so something like that. And at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aishwarya. And now for a grammarian today is our very own Venkatesan sir. He needs no introduction, but still he is someone who loves Toastmasters, someone who actively takes part in all our club contests, and someone who nails all the table topic speeches whenever it is held in our club. Over to you, Venkatesan sir, for a grammarian objective.
Thank you, JE. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. My role as a grammarian is to pay attention to the good use of English and provide constructive feedback for improvements. I would like to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is adjective unprecedented. Synonyms: unequal, exceptional. Example: the internet has erased distance and given people unprecedented access to each other. I would request all speakers, table topic speakers, to enrich the word, enrich your vocabulary, preparing your speech at the time of delivery. As I would request, as frequent as you can use the word of the day and theme of the day in the meeting. I'll be on stage once again to submit my report. Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you very much, Venkatesan sir. With this, our tag objective has come to an end. I'll come back at the evaluation session of today's meeting. For now, I return back to control to our Toastmaster today, Toastmaster Rohit.
Thank you, G. Thank you, G. Now moving on to the first session of today's meeting, that is the prepared speeches session. We have our first speaker today who joined our club recently and who will be giving his icebreaker speech. It is none other than Toastmaster Venkataseshan. Venkataseshan hails from Madurai, and he holds an engineering degree and an MBA graduate from XLRI Jamshedpur. He works with TCS as a domain consultant in the power generation and business services. And the evaluator for Toastmaster Venkataseshan today is DTM Thomas Abraham sir. So Thomas Abraham sir, can you please request you to please share the objectives of TM Venkataseshan's speech?
Thank you very much, Tia Modi. My privilege today to evaluate the maiden speech of our new member, Toastmaster Venkataseshan. An icebreaker, as it quite vividly explains, gives us an opportunity to break into a new group, tell us who we are, familiarize ourselves with them, concurrently understand the basics of preparing and delivering a speech. All the best to you, Toastmaster Venkataseshan.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry to interrupt. Time is going to be 4 to 6 minutes for this speech, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, okay. I will start now, Surya. Okay. Hello, Toastmasters. Good evening to everyone. At the onset of this presentation, I would like to thank the Toastmaster of the day and the fellow Toastmasters here who have given me this opportunity. I would also like to congratulate Mr. Thomas and Mr. Jayakumar on their unprecedented success in the area contest today. Let me tell a goody story, pay attention, listen to me. So, River Vaigai is Madurai. The class 10 students are preparing for their final examination, sitting under a coconut tree. What a bliss it is, right? I'm very sure very few of us would have got that kind of opportunity sitting under a tree in a school. Few months later, all the students of the class 10 were exuberant and enjoying with their scores. And the hero of our story has got the highest score in the class, and he has become class 3rd in the district. 2 years later, he got an admission into government engineering college, but he discernibly opted for private engineering college in Madurai due to his family's financial conditions. He opted for this just to reduce his parents' burden on paying the hostel fee. Next year, he had to choose an engineering branch. He opted for infamous instrumentation and control engineering rather than the most sought after computer science engineering of those days, though he had scored very well to opt for computer science engineering. A year later, a love life of his life came in.
Right.
Yes, he met with his girlfriend, who is a neighbor and also a junior in his college, and proposed his love to her. But she humbly and gently rejected the offer. Oh, what a disappointment. Yes, it is very disappointing. But he moved on. When he completed his engineering, the unemployment scenario and the social pressure gripped our hero and pulled him to the corners to get into a job. Though he wanted to get into a core engineering, and all his friends got settled in IT companies, and some of them already flew on site. He wanted to go into core engineering companies, and he was trying hard. 2 years later, the lady luck opened the door for him. And to their family's excitement and enthralling, he got an offer from NALCO, National Aluminum Company, which is a PSU. And our hero is in complete euphoria. He got an opportunity to work in a power plant as an instrumentation engineer. 2004, yes. Our hero, he got married to the girl whom he proposed 6 years before. What a lucky guy he is, right? Yes, he is very lucky. Few years gone by, with sheer motivation and encouragement from his wife, he joined XLRA Jamshedpur for his MBA. His wife took entire family responsibility, and including 2-year-old son. The days passed by. He joined PCS as power plant domain consultant. He moved across different countries across the world and worked with different clients. And he moved and climbed up the ladder in his organization. In 2020, he came to Medley for his son's presentation skills and public speaking skills. Enlightenment came in his mind. What am I doing? Am I complacent? Am I growing? Am I getting any new skills? With those questions in mind, I am the hero of our story is in front of you, in front of this elite Medley Toastmasters Club. With this, I would like to add my strength and weakness. My strength is whatever the challenges that get into my life, I find options and go with those which are passionate to me and progress towards those. And the weakness is the procrastination of any work. With that, I would like to add that I always opted for any road which is revolutionary and take me to the next level. With that, I would like to recommend this book. What got you here won't get you there. Whatever has helped me to get here will not help me to get there. So I see Toastmasters as an opportunity which will take me to the next level in my career as well as my personal development. With that, I hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesh. Very congratulations on your maiden icebreaker speech. Hope you have a lot more speeches going forward in Medleys. So moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is none other than a veteran speaker, that is Toastmaster Thiagarajan. Toastmaster Thiagarajan is a very seasoned speaker and a seasoned writer as well, who has contributed immensely his knowledge and opinions through articles to various magazines and newspapers. He also served as a president of Medley. When asked about an historical event in India, birth of Mahatma Gandhi is an historical event according to Toastmaster Thiagarajan. A non-violent movement that took on the might of the British Empire is something that he really appreciates. So to evaluate Toastmaster Thiagarajan's speech is Toastmaster Saravanan. Toastmaster Saravanan, can you please read out Toastmaster Thiagarajan's speech objectives?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Thiagarajan is giving his first project in level 4, dynamic leadership pathways. There are two purposes for this speech. One is the purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a change management plan. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a change management plan. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Thiagarajan.
Okay. Thank you all. Am I visible and audible? That's very crucial. Okay. Now, the title of the speech, to all of you. Title of the speech is Manage the Change or Change Management. Now, what is a change? A change is a transformation in an innovative direction. If you make a keen insight into the phenomenon of changes, you will realize that this phenomenon is involved in multiple activities ranging from birth or death in a family to an outbreak of war between two nations. Knowledge is known to the unknown. Hence, we have a classic example of a sea change, that is sea change for which we were all exposed to since July 1st, 2020. Yes, I refer to a changeover from manual system to pathways. When there was a diversion to pathways, there was no murmuring from any quarter or any Toastmaster scratched their head out of frustration. This was despite being the change was a mighty challenge. Besides, a major paradigm shift. All the club managers discreetly managed the transition and displaying fantastic leadership skills. Hence, the transition was smooth, splendid, without any hiccups or hitches. Rather, it was a classic demonstration of how a change should be handled. Viewed from historical perspective, wars have brought about unprecedented changes on some occasions. Shakespeare said, "Sweet are the uses of adversity." This means any hostile event would be accompanied with beneficial fallouts. Let me illustrate it. During the year 1928, a pioneering scientist by name Dr. Alexander Fleming discovered accidentally a drug named as penicillin in a London hospital. Unfortunately, its valuables were not noticed by the scientists. During Second World War, millions of soldiers sustained injuries, and it even claimed a heavy toll of human life. Necessity is the mother of invention. Hence, all the scientists hurriedly put their heads together and resumed the research on penicillin from where it was left in the year 1928. And to their astonishment, they discovered that this drug had striking potentiality. Successfully synthesized in 1945, it was found that penicillin was a boon to the mankind, of course. It was a magic bullet. This wonder drug was an eye-opener and revolutionizing the modern medicine. Hence, incidentally, this discovery also opened the floodgates for the discovery of other antibiotics. Now, today, yes, these antibiotics save at least a million human lives a day. What was the wrong when Shakespeare said, "Yes, sweet are the uses of adversity." Changes are dynamic, leaving a legacy of bitterness as well as bounties. The cynics cry foul on changes, while robust optimists applaud it. During the lockdown, which was announced abruptly, many cursed it, but all the Toastmasters Club zeroed in on Zoom, resulting in a prodigious network of Toastmasters club across the globe. And today, any Toastmaster club is within the access of any Toastmaster. But don't jump with joy on seeing it change. It is too much, because Mother Nature will always emulating a roller coaster, will not allow you to soar up too high or push you down to rock bottom. It will, the Mother Nature, with its invisible hands, always hold the scales even. Thank you all. With this, let me conclude the level 4 of dynamic leadership. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tyagarajan sir. Thank you for this lovely speech, and also congratulations on completing your level 4. So moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Jagannathan, who doesn't need any introduction. You can see him running away with all the evaluation awards during the in our club contest, as well as in our weekly meetings. So Jagannathan, he is a Toastmaster Jagannathan. He is a native of Chennai, and he's a software professional. And he works with Infosys currently. When I asked him what is the most historical event that is significant to him, so he did mention that it is Jallianwala Bagh massacre. That is very much in tune with today's theme of the day. So he says the Jallianwala Bagh massacre that happened in 1919 united the country in one voice condemning the British rule. His speech for today is a repeat of a speech that he gave a few weeks ago. To evaluate Toastmaster Jagannathan's speech is Toastmaster Raghunath Nair. So can you please read out the objectives of Toastmaster Jagannathan's speech?
Sure. Thank you, Rohit, Toastmaster Rohit. Jagan will be doing his level 1, project 3 research and presentation from the Pathways Persuasive Influence. Is titled Stop the Seal. You know, researching the topic and organizing the information is like an unprecedented job. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic research methods and present a very well organized, a very well researched speech on any topic that is narrow enough to be an effective 5 to 7 minute speech. Wishing you all the best, Jagan. Over to you.
Raghu, can I start? Because it generally goes back to the Toastmaster.
Yeah, sorry. Over to the Toastmaster then. Yeah. Rohit?
Yeah. Over to you, Toastmaster Jagannathan.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Rohit, will you help us stop the steal? They are stealing from us. The only property that can truly be ours, they are stealing from us. Fellow Medlians like Venkat and Sunil have worked their entire life to stop the steal. Sunil knows, being a lawyer, how many cases we have lost. Just like humans is stealing a bee's honey, they are stealing our hard-earned property. Wait, who is they? What are they stealing? What is this property? Why is Venkat and Sunil fighting to stop the steal? Good afternoon, friends. How many here know the movie Pirates of the Caribbean? Just a raise of a hand. Thank you. A pirate is a robber who often travels by water. Just like the Bay of Bengal, there are many bays around the world in which they work. One bay is called Pirate Bay. You will not find this place anywhere on a world map. It's in cyberspace. The Encyclopedia Britannica says, and I quote, "The Pirate Bay is the most popular site in the world to use BitTorrent protocol that allows distribution of very large files," unquote. These files are movies, songs, downloading documentaries, games, software, and other artistic expressions of human intellectual property. Once I downloaded Pirates of the Caribbean movie from Pirate Bay for free, which would have otherwise cost me 120 rupees. Yes. Wait, wasn't that stealing? In an August 2016 article, the Business Insider reported that the magnum opus Bahubali was downloaded illegally for 25 lakh times in the first 17 months of release. This caused a whooping 1,000 crore loss to the Telugu film industry. In a June 2020 article, the Economic Times reported, and I quote, the film industry is estimated to lose around 22,000 crore and around 60,000 jobs every year because of piracy. According to a 2018 report of the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index released by Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, Alirajpur district in Madhya Pradesh is the poorest district in India. With this 22,000 crore, 15 such districts with similar populations can be provided for a year, 5 lakh per head to alleviate poverty. Taking someone else's property is stealing. Is it not part of every religion on this planet? Why then are we not teaching our kids that stealing someone else's intellectual property is a sin? Music is another sector where the stealing is rampant. I always spend a good amount of money on quality headphones, ironically, not on music. Because I used to download from starmusic.com, which was for free. In a 2019 report, Digital Music Study by Indian Music Industry, piracy averages on an about 67% of Indian music industry. The estimated loss is 1,000 crore. Now, with that money, ISRO could launch 2 successful satellites every year to Mars. Nowadays, even before the official release, pirated versions are out to quench our unquenchable thirst. Speaking of unquenchable thirst, how many here like Game of Thrones? A show of hands. Game of Thrones. Thank you. Back in 2017, a 7th season's episode was leaked online. People who had confessed their love to that series downloaded it and watched it before the official release. If they genuinely love the series and its artist, why would they download it illegally and inflicting financial losses to the producers? I thought to myself, how shameful of them. They must love themselves to the extent that they are ready stealing someone else's property. Wait, I watched it in Hotstar. Wait, how did I watch the previous 6 seasons? You guessed it right. How shameful of me to mercilessly download someone else's intellectual property. The change happened to me in 2016 when Hotstar and Amazon Prime came. I realized how ignorant have I been. I downloaded all the movies and TV series I deleted all of them, which I had downloaded before. Music was difficult because it was part of my everyday life. I could not delete those songs right away. Only in July 2019, I switched to iTunes, which cost me 99 rupees per month. I was determined to change because every time when I looked at the mirror, all I could see was a pirate, was a thief, a robber. I changed my cell phone's ringtone from a customized one to an inbuilt one. Because if you have a customized ringtone, at some point in time, that music would have been pirated unless officially released by the creator. I strive not to use unauthorized PDF for my academics. I only watch YouTube videos in official channels. I make sure I download pictures which are officially released by the creators. Dear friends, consuming information should cost us because producing it does. And consuming it illegally costs our entire humanity. As you're aware, Venkat is a domain expert in a leading IPR firm, and Sunil is an IP lawyer who specializes in trademarks, copyrights, and patents. This speech is inspired by a previous speech by Sunil on the same issue. If innovation and creativity are not protected, creators will have no incentive to produce indigenous products. Atmanirbhar Bharat will be a pipe dream. We can continue to criticize China and social media posts while continuing to use Chinese mobile apps to share illegally downloaded movies. Today, we have a successful vaccine, an indigenous vaccine. We have numerous electric two-wheeler startup companies, OTT services booming with creativity, and a government that is determined to push innovation. It is for us, you and I, to stop the steal, break the chain, and put an end to piracy. Shall we, Toastmaster of the Day?
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagannathan. So we will try all our best to stop stealing. Now we have come to an end to the prepared speeches session. So we have had speeches from wonderful speakers. So now, Taima, can we have? Can you please let us know who are the qualified speakers? Prepared speech speakers.
Glad to inform you that there are no disqualifications. All three speakers are qualified.
All right. Thank you, Taima. So we have had all three speakers who have qualified. Now to continue from where I left earlier about the theme of the day, Revolutionary Road. In April 1919, General Dyer commanded about 50 armed Indian troops to Amritsar's Jallianwala Bagh, where an estimated 20,000 civilians, unarmed civilians had gathered, cramped together for lack of space. The gathering was in defiance of the colonial martial law under which all public gatherings were banned in Punjab. Dyer placed his troops at the narrow entrance of the Jallianwala Bagh that also served as the only main exit, thus trapping the people inside. Without any warning, he ordered his troops to fire on the helpless crowd. Udham Singh, a boy then, was a witness to that carnage. Udham Singh blamed the massacre mainly on Old Dwyer, who was in charge of Punjab at that time. For over 2 decades, Udham Singh, a fierce patriotic revolutionary with revenge in his heart, had one overpowering obsession: to kill O'Dwyer at any cost. This obsession took him to several countries by road and sea and finally landed in England. He joined an underground socialist organization that worked for the cause of Indian workers, where he watched and waited for years for the ideal opportunity to strike. Now moving on to, now the last part we'll come to it later. Before that, we'll have the table topic session, which will be conducted by Toastmaster Periyaswamy. Periyaswamy, to know a little bit about Toastmaster Periyaswamy, he is a native of Kallakurchi district in Tamil Nadu, and he holds a BTech degree and works with a government firm in Chennai. When I asked him according to what is the historical event in India, he said, the historical event is the construction of the Raja Chola temple in Tanjore in 1000 BC, which has importance in the field of art, architecture, and values. So to take the proceedings forward, it is Toastmaster Periyaswamy who will be conducting the table topic session.
Thank you, TMOD Rohit, for your warm introduction. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster, and welcome guest. We all know that the table topic is one of the most interesting and exciting segment in Toastmaster. Most of us would have joined in Toastmaster to gain experience exclusively in Toastmaster in table topic session. Even I too joined Toastmaster for the same, to handle the unexpected situations. I have two parts in today's sessions. One is I will give you the topic and you need to speak about the topic. The second one is I will tell you the situation and stop in the middle. You need to continue from that. Before I call upon the speakers, for the benefit of guests, you need to speak minimum of 1 minute and maximum of 2 minutes in order to get for voting. All the best to everyone. Please pin the timer for timing. Is the screen is visible?
Yes, Pereswamy. Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. My first topic is every pain gives a lesson and every lesson changes a person. For this, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Shruti. Are you there? Toastmaster Shruti?
Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, Shruti. Shruti, Toastmaster Shruti, your topic is every pain gives a lesson and every lesson changes a person. Toastmaster Shruti.
Thank you, TT Master, for such a wonderful topic. I completely agree with this statement. Every pain gives a lesson, because if you don't experience pain, and how does pain come? When you do something wrong in some other kind of an experiment, unless and until you make a mistake, you don't really understand the consequences until you do it, and you don't gain the experience as such. Now, when you experience the pain you felt during that failure, I really doubt you would understand the mistakes you have done, and that pain would teach you what not to do the next time. And every lesson is important. How else would you grow? How else would you grow? You need to grow in given any stage.
I hope
I'll
it's
move
not
to the
audible.
next one.
Yeah, sure. My second topic is who has the biggest influence in your life? For this topic, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Sharanya. Toastmaster Sharanya, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, Toastmaster Sharanya, your topic is who has been the biggest influence in your life? Who has been the biggest influence in your life, Toastmaster Sharanya?
Okay. Thank you for the wonderful topic, Toastmaster Pereswamy. So, who has been the biggest influence in my life? It is a very special person that everybody knows in Medley is it's distinguished Toastmaster Suganti Pereswamy ma'am. So, like when she called me to ask like whether you can be as a surgeon at arms, like I was very much interested in the role, but I was not aware, like since I was new to Medley, whether I'll be able to make it or not. But she gave me the opportunity, so which made me so happy. So whenever she used to call me and ask me for taking up any roles, I used to take up the roles. So we used to travel from my PG. So she used to pick me up because the surgeon at arms bag used to be very heavy until the club. From during the time of traveling, right, she used to tell like what all we have to do in a meeting. She used to give like lot of insights, like how to handle situations and how to manage stuffs. Even when there is a contest, she used to call me. So uh, the way she carries and handles the meetings, I used to admire her more, and always she has been a great motivation to me. So I think the biggest influence for me is distinguished Toastmaster Suganti Pereswamy. Thank you. Over to you, Pereswamy.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Sharanya. I hope most of us would agree with you. Even Toastmaster Shuganti is the most influential person. He's one of the most influential person. Thank you. For the next topic is, I found a pot of treasure on the road while I was returning from home. For this, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Priyadashini Bailur. Priyadashini Bailur, are you there? Toastmaster Priyadashini
Yes.
Bailur? Yes, Toastmaster Priyadashini Bailur. I found a pot of treasure on the road while I was returning from home. From this unit, you can continue.
Okay. So one day when I was walking, it was sunny day, and I saw something was glittering. Today we don't. It's very unusual if you see a pot of gold. Then I doubted if it is true. My God, to my surprise, I saw it to be real gold. Very next moment, the first thought that came to my mind is how best can I make use of this money? Then all the thoughts of having the materialistic things, or what can I might be I can give one get together party for my friends which was pending. All these thoughts came into my mind. Very next moment, I started feeling guilty. If this cannot be a magical thing that's from nowhere, I saw this pot of gold, might be it might have dropped from someone's hand, or might be it was an accident which has made this to come to this corner of the road or something. That guilt took away all the excitement that I was carrying with myself, and I was fixed as to what should I do. Should I just leave it? Because if I leave it, someone else can definitely take it home. So the best thing I wanted to think it in this way is what is that I want to do for myself is to be true to myself. So I decided to walk to the police station, and I handed over this. And the police officer was so happy with me. He gave me a certificate for being one of, for setting an example in the society. And next morning in Times of India, I got to see my photo. And there were many such congratulations coming from every corners of the world. And this one act of mine took me to so many places. Thank you so much, TT Master. We are not able to hear you. You need.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I have muted my mic. Thank you very much for being honest. I'd like to appreciate you. Thank you. Where there is a will, there is a way. For this topic, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm a counter. Is it okay if I?
Yeah, you can play the role as per the MOD.
Okay.
Where there is a will, there is a way. Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi.
Where there is a will, there is a way. So it is a proverb, I guess. This I have studied in my, during my childhood days. So it's the old English saying, where there is a will, there is a way, means without determination and willpower, one cannot achieve the goal or success. So, for instance, if a student wish to grab first place in first rank in class without any preparation or any hard work, he cannot achieve that. So he has to work hard and with a determination and persistence, he has to study well, work hard to achieve that. So this is what where there is a will, there is a way. If we if we want to achieve our goal, if we do that with the perseverance, determination.
Go to the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, thank you for your view on that. Yeah. The next one is, Earth has been destroyed. Sorry, am I audible? Yes, okay. Earth has been destroyed by war and no one lives on it anymore. The robots and the machines continue to function and serve human beings who have long ago lived. For this, from this, I'd like to continue. From this, for continuing this, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster, DTM Sunil Jose. Sunil Jose, DTM Sunil Jose, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
From this, you have to build a story. Thank you.
Okay, I couldn't just. Okay.
Are you able to see the screen?
It has been destroyed. I can see now. I had some disturbance. Okay, it has been destroyed by. I couldn't hear you. Okay, let me for a second. Let me read it. Robot and the machine continue to function. So, okay. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and thank you, Table Topic Master. I am the last person who actually have imaginations and about and fancying about things, and it's the right topic to me at the right time. Okay, thank you for that. Anyway, this is one situation where I've been dreaming at least. You see, everything has been destroyed in the earth, but the earth was not like before. Nobody was saying that the earth was all gone and then no human beings there. The robot has taken over. The machine has taken over. The entire life in the earth is going on. There is a it's not like independent governments are there. There's a centralized government is ruling the country because it's ruling the entire earth. Yeah, because you don't need separate governments now. Everything is happening at the push of a button. So people at times there were celebration. At times there were functions happening to celebrate the archaic or the old generation or all the species called the human beings. So every now and then there are days, human being days, where people was remembering about that rare species which were the new robo and machines were looking at. We're thinking like, is there something like that? Human beings on this earth? Oh my God, there's such a little brain and things. How could they survive on this earth? So in that kind of meeting, they used to talk about the machines. The earlier robo used to talk about human beings and they're ruling the world. And then the young robo used to ask like, how could they rule the world, like 195 countries and then 195 governments? What is this? What silly matter is this? I was like, these are all not happened. We can't believe you. All of you are. They question the senior robots and machines. Like you are all of you are lying. There is nothing like human beings existed in this world. So the story will continue next week. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, DTM Sunil Jose. We have got a nice story from you. Thank you. You are a great storyteller. Thank you. Never judge a book by its cover. For this, I'd like to call guest Justin Xavier. Are you there?
Huh?
Guest Justin Xavier. Guest Justin Xavier, are you there, sir? Shall I move to the next person?
Yes, please.
Yes. Toastmaster Ranga,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Guest Justin Xavier.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I put on mute.
Yeah, no problem. Your topic is never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a book by its cover. Guest Justin Xavier. Thank you.
Good evening to everybody. This topic is really very impressed because this is everyone doing the judge. The first look, somebody's guest is the best person, a good friend. Wherever we go, we identified this is a suitable person. We thought after mingled those persons, we can understand, okay, this behavior is not suitable for us. If we travel somewhere else, train or flight, the neighbor, we sit the neighbor, we start to talk our personal opinion, personal thought, personal experience, and the background of our company, family, other so many things. Unwantedly, we start to explain our personal information. Why? Because of that appear of the face, something, oh, this guy is look like very smart. We can, so we thought, he thought to the in-depth the relationship. Going forward, after that some time, we can understand the person is not correct. It have your big stories there, but there is no timeline. But this is the information. You first, you need to justify that you need to not front cover look, image. It's not a complete correct information, because somebody's the face also is not very calm, look like blacky, some different face look, but he's a nice person, calm, caring person. So this guy really, everybody have the same like that experience, this kind of mingleness. So the topic heading is this. I feel this is a example of behaviors and mingleness.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guest Justin Xavier, for your views on these topics. Thank you. The number one skill in life is not giving up. For this, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Ranga sir. Ranga sir, are you there? Yes, sir.
Thank
Your
you.
topic is, yeah, thank you. The number one skill in life is not giving up. Toastmaster Ranga sir.
Excellent topic. Thank you. The year is 1974. I had fallen sick and I had not gone to school for more than a year and a half. My parents took me to various doctors and hospitals, and I could see day by day that they were also getting worried. They were getting worried that I was falling sick and at a stage when I should have gone out and be playing with all my friends. After 1.5 years, we went to a doctor. All he did was just ask me to take a few tests. When the results came in, he said, "You're lucky that you brought your son here. Another 2 weeks, he might not be alive at all." But what did I do in the interim? It was my mother who kept giving me the strength. Every day she would say, "You're perfectly fine today. You can go out and play. You can go out and play." I was waiting for the day that I will go out and play. On one particular day, my thinking should have shifted and shifted to the positive side, where I started believing, yes, if I continue this, I am sure that I will become all right. And once I become all right, I will be able to enjoy all the things that teenagers want to do, going out and seeing everything that is beautiful in this world. Thank you, Tabletop.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranga sir. Really, it's an inspiration one. Thank you. The next topic is my mother can make paper animals come to life. In the beginning, I love them and spend hours with my mom. But as soon as I grow up, from this, I'd like to continue. Toastmaster Zagir Hussain. Zagir Hussain, sir, are you there?
I am here.
Yes, sir. From this, you need to continue the story.
Thank you, TT Master, Mr. Peresami, and dear friends and all the Toastmasters of Medley. My mother can make paper animals come to life. In the beginning, I love them. I spent hours with my mom. But as soon as I grew up, I had my own things to go. So I was going to school and college and job. So these periods, I was totally away from my mom. I started engaging myself into different kinds of activities. My unprecedented love for my mom's paper animals was totally fading down. I start thinking, Mom, why don't you stop this? Let's adopt some of the dogs, animals which are on the stray. Then my mom realized, yes, you are right. The stray dogs or the stray dogs which are on the road have no one to feed them. And I am creating a paper dogs to life. Better, let's change a thing. That made us to think about the stray dogs. We contacted the nearby Blue Cross, where there can be medicated and any treatment can be done to the dogs. That time I got, when many dogs, when my vehicle enters into my street, come behind my car, behind me when I get up, I found unprecedented love for the dogs, which are real. The people start realizing and start following up, and my entire street become one of the best street where people also start not shouting the dogs and making them as a pet of them or making them as a friend of them. So this is one of the excellent thing I have learned over a period of growth. I expect many of us also love the pets. Similarly, the stray dogs on the street dogs also need something like us. And this is a wonderful topic, Perisami. I love it. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. You brought the story to into our live situation. Thank you. Thank you. Only in pressure diamonds are made. Only in pressure diamonds are made. For this topic, I'd like to call upon guest Priyanka Karthikeyan. Guest Priyanka Karthikeyan, are you there?
Yeah, yes, I'm there.
Thank you. Your topic is only in pressure diamonds are made. Guest Priyanka Karthikeyan.
Yes, so I agree that the point only in pressure diamonds are made states that if a person is undergoing a lot of pressure and if he's meeting any obstacle, it will help him to get him into shape. Let it be work, let it be family, or let it be anything he faces. If he's having some tough times or if he's doing some any kind of hard work, he puts himself in pressure. So let's take a kid or a college student who's doing college studies for a semester and exams. He's going to put some pressure and he's going to do some midnight studies, burn midnight oil lamp, and wake up till 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. to prepare for his exam. So he's undergoing lots of pressure. But all these hard works are getting paid at the result time. So when he's seeing himself in a university paper or a kind of a big banner or something, and in media and other college students, that he's the number one student, he has scored with exceptional marks, first mark, second mark, then he'll be like super happy. He'll see himself as a person as diamond, that all his hard works are paid and he has scored so much. So only in pressure diamonds are made. Yes. I'd like to conclude it.
Thank you. Thank you. Your views about this topic. Thank you.
Thanks.
Guest Priyanka Karthikeyan. What is your favorite sports and why? What is your favorite sports and why? For this topic, I'd like to call upon guest Murlidhar. Guest Murlidhar, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Thank
Your
you.
topic is what is your favorite sports and why? Guest Murlidhar.
Thank you, Perisami, for this topic. And what is my favorite sport and why? I mean, my favorite sport is football. Okay. So basically, football is a wonderful game where if you see, right, the person who hits the goal, and if you just see how I mean, just before he hits the goal or how he gets the ball is very important. Like it is not just he alone gets the ball and then he hits the goal. There is somebody who passes the ball. So I very on a daily working in my during my work, right, at daily I look at this. Try to correlate the football game and work I do. I mean, my regular work, of course, in my team or how I work with my peers, I correlate. So it's not about like I mean, reaching the goal is. I mean, as a team, when you reach the goal, it is more important. And how do you reach it? It is by passing the ball. That is, a person should work on whatever he is capable of and pass it on, pass the ball or pass the work to the next person who is capable of on something else. So leverage everybody for their talents and then move ahead. So that's the reason I like football a lot. And thanks for that, giving me the topic.
Thank you, sir. Actually, even I too love was football sport. That's one of my main sport. Thank you. Thank you for giving this wonderful topic. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Rohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Table Topic Master Pereswamy. So keeping us all engaged and engaged. So we have had good speakers also who handle the table topics very well. So Taima, can you please let us know the qualified speakers, table topic speakers?
Once again, a splendid performance by all TT speakers, no disqualification.
Fantastic. I think it was thank you, Taima. Thank you for letting us know that there have been no disqualified table topic speakers today. So to continue from where I left earlier, what happened to Udham Singh after he landed in London? So Udham Singh, after he landed in London, Udham Singh bought a revolver and some ammunition and waited for the right moment. That fateful day arrived on 13th March 1940 at a meeting conducted at Caxton Hall in London, where Michael O'Dwyer was one of the speakers. Udham Singh found the right moment and fired a hail of bullets at Michael O'Dwyer, killing him instantly. Udham Singh, after shooting Dwyer, had no intention of escaping and was immediately arrested. During the trial, he said, "I did it because I had a grudge against him." That is Michael Dwyer. He deserved it. He wanted to crush the spirit of my people, so I have crushed him. He was soon convicted and sentenced to death by hanging. Now moving on to the next session, that would be the evaluation session. So can we have General Evaluator Dinesh to carry the proceedings forward?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Hi everyone, I'm back. Now it's the second session of general evaluation, and this is the prepared speech evaluation session. This is a very unique aspect in Toastmasters, where all the prepared speeches given by the members are evaluated. And for the first speech by Toastmaster Venkatesation, icebreaker, I call upon DTM Thomas T. Abraham. A brief intro about DTM Thomas T. Abraham is he was our immediate past president. He was the former District 82 PR manager, a communication consultant, and if you had seen today morning contest, he won the first prize in the area table topics and the international speech contest. I give upon to Thomas T. Abraham, sir, to evaluate icebreaker of Venkatesation.
Thank you very much, GE. It's my privilege, like I said, to give my views on the not icebreaker, total comprehensive communication package that's been presented under the guise of an icebreaker. I've never seen anything like this as an icebreaker, let me confess to you. Three things I noticed were special. One, the speaker showed a clear head, as clear-cut as the visuals he presented. No fuss, very linear and correct. Third, he revealed himself in a very scientific managerial way by highlighting his strengths and weaknesses. And not just that, supplemented very well by his selfie. When he talked about challenges, seeing options, and passionately pursuing the mission, the way he presented this icebreaker itself was proof of that. It was 100% commitment. He stood up and presented, if you noticed, and used visuals to complete the communication. In terms of delivery, for an icebreaker speech, I must commend him for his impeccable language, clear enunciation, and confidence. Some suggestions, since his potential is high. Content. College chronology becomes predictable, maybe and almost normal. In its place, could you have given something more about your childhood, which molds you much more? That was a blank book still for us. Second, in the storytelling technique, you use the our hero part. Now, what happens is because this is an icebreaker, everybody knows you are the hero. See, the suspense is beautiful so long as it stays with the audience. Therefore, I was wondering whether, calling yourself our hero and giving it a kind of a third party feel was the right thing to do. Third, the graphics. The graphics were fantastic, but they were impersonal, like Alexander the Great's, how it moved, the army moved forward. It took away from the person that you are. Same thing, your application rejected and then approved after 6 years. We are talking about your love life, a major emotional part of your life. It came through like the record of how your application for maybe an RTI application was rejected, and after 6 years it was accepted. It took away the personal, emotional part of a story. Overall, may I say this? Lot of creativity, enthusiasm, 100% that comes from a professional outlook. Medley has found its future, VPPR, and more. I have no doubt about it. And as for the speech, like I said, a slightly different content selection. Also, selecting the right occasion for the right communication methods will have you Medley singing your paeans. All the best to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, sir. And I would also like to commend Toastmaster Venkatesation for giving a brilliant speech as an icebreaker. Equally, I'm also looking forward to his next speeches. Now, going on to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Saravanan will evaluate Toastmaster Tyagarajan's speech. A brief intro about Toastmaster Saravanan. He's an IT professional working in Ford Motor Company. He's a Coimbatore native, and he's also the previous vice president membership. But also, he's the previous. I always used to poke him and ask him each and every week for doubts regarding to membership. Thank you. And over to you, Toastmaster Saravanan, to evaluate Tyagarajan's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So just a question to all. What is change?
Transformation.
Very good. A change is something that affects an individual or an organization and presents its own challenges. And that is where the transformation is needed, whether it is an individual or an organization that is needed. For this particular project, Toastmaster Tyagarajan touched upon the changes in Toastmasters itself, from traditional to the pathways way of coming up the projects, and the changes adopted by every Toastmasters to move to an online Zoom platform. These are the two things he touched upon as a change management thing, and it was very well done. Thank you for that. There are two aspects I liked in his speech. The first one, the comparison of change with Toastmasters, he compared with the Second World War and the magic drug that was invented that was called as penicillin, and how it saved millions of lives during the Second World War. That was beautifully done. Second thing I liked in his speech was the passion for history. Always, wherever there is anything that is needed, whatever project that Toastmaster Tyagarajan talks about, I can see some references of Shakespeare. Here also, he was able to pull in those references of Shakespeare. And this change management topic is a very right topic, but he was able to bring in Shakespeare's quotes on adversity and how a drug manufactured in or invented in 1928 was able to help millions of lives. So these were two important things I liked in his speech. From an opportunities perspective, I have two opportunities. One is from the manual perspective. If you see, the manual says to share some aspect of a change management plan. The plan is the operative word here. So I would like to see some more of the plan. But what I saw here is a generalized statement of like how Toastmasters have changed from traditional to pathways, as well as how they have adopted to the online Zoom platform. but some sort of plan which you have taken upon, that would have been much helpful for us to understand what is the thought process behind that, what is the vision behind that, how you have implemented that, what are the strategic priorities and objectives, and what is the communication plan you have gone ahead with. Those kind of change management plan was what I was looking for as per the manual, but that was not clearly coming out in the speech. So what I would suggest is, like, I mean, if you had taken some other topic where you could have implemented those plans and talked about those things, it would have much helpful, because there are new Toastmasters out there. So a topic about that on the change management, communication plan, visions, those would have been much helpful. So these are the two opportunities I would say. But to summarize, I would say very good speech. Like, I like the way you tied back to the history and brought it up. But I would say if you could touch upon those manual related change management plan and brought some aspect of the plan, that would be much better. Thank you very much. I loved your speech and look forward for future speeches as well. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarvan, for the well-rounded evaluation of Toastmaster Tyagarajan sir's speech. Now coming to our next evaluator is our very own president, Toastmaster Raghu. I have known him very well for the past 6 months, and there is no one who would work for Medley like he is doing for the past 3 or 4 months, especially when he is the president. And Toastmaster Raghu is also my mentor. And I invite Toastmaster Raghu to evaluate Toastmaster Jagannathan's speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dinesh. Am I audible? Okay. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and particularly my target speaker, Jagan. What a wonderful speech, Jagan. I really look, I mean, as a Toastmaster, I really look forward to your speeches. And today, I would like to evaluate your speech from two specific angles. Like, one, from the project objective and your performance. And second, what is that I have learned as a Toastmaster from the whole preparation and the presentation that you have done. Presenting a research topic so interestingly is an unprecedented task, and so in such a short span. And that is what the project asked for. The way you grab the attention of the audience by addressing directly to the TMOD the first question, and then having the audience like Sunil and Venkateshan as part of your speech. This is the best example in understanding the audience and playing to an audience. This is something which need to be really learned and mastered. And that's something which I really liked in your speech. The voice modulation. You know, when you were expressing about those pirates, that was something which was really catching. Like, you know, you had that the silence, the voice and things. The subject connected to the audience. When you actually present a research topic, you need to get connected to the audience. Otherwise, it becomes out of that whole attention gets thing. Like, for example, the famous Bahubali's loss, like, and the reference from the Economic Times, or the ability of ISROs to launch another 2 satellites. In such amazing way which you carried that whole speech from the beginning to the end. Now let me tell you what I have learned from the Toastmasters. The way you prepare. You know, that audience, when you're in an online thing, you stood up, your body is linked, where the frame is the way you selected the frame, so that you're able to express the whole, the way it is done. Like you're able to connect, and that is very, very important when you're doing an online speech. And that you have done well. The way you have repeated this speech, that is something which I learn and take away as an audience, as a Toastmaster. That's a commitment which you wanted to deliver it again and say that to improve. Because last time you had some disturbance in the beginning and then you overshoot the time. The commitment to deliver it for the second time is something which a Toastmaster need to learn. And that is where improvement happens. And that's with such a good preparation, you still came and delivered it at the very best way you can, and as best storyteller. I really look forward to hearing a lot of speeches from you, Jagan. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Raghu, for the well-rounded evaluation as well. Moving on to our next session, that is our tag report. For this, the basis of this tag report is because now we have a good idea about how these prepared speeches were about in the evaluation session. The tag report gives upon the quantity and the quality of the speech, like how much have we spoken, how long have we spoken, the R counter and the grammarian as well. Now, first for the tag report, I call upon our timer Surya K to read out this timer report.
Once again, there are no disqualification in speech evaluation. Of course, there are no disqualifications. I will just go ahead and present the time report. You can have a view at it. Prepared speeches, Toastmaster Venkatesan, 5 minutes 52 seconds. TTM Tyagarajan, 6 minutes 53 seconds. Toastmaster Jagannathan, 6 minutes 59 seconds. TD speaker Shruti, exactly when she crossed first minute, it went blank. So it was 1 minute 13 seconds. Toastmaster Sharanya, 1 minute 37 seconds. Priyadarshini, 1 minute 37 seconds. Aishwarya, 1 minute 21 seconds. TTM Sunil Jos, 2 minutes 8 seconds. Guest Justin Xavier, 1 minute 56 seconds. Toastmaster Ranga, 1 minute 27 seconds. Toastmaster Zakir, 2 minutes 9 seconds. Guest Priyanka, 1 minute 16 seconds. Guest Muralidharan, 1 minute 17 seconds. Evaluation, DTM Thomas Abraham, 3 minutes 11 seconds. Toastmaster Saravanan, 3 minutes 14 seconds. And Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, 3 minutes 7 seconds. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya. And kudos to all our prepared speakers, table topic speakers, and evaluators for speaking within time. This is maybe one of the very few instances where all the speeches are within time. Thank you. And next to our R counter, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi to read out the R counter report, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Let me share my screen now. Yeah, visible?
It's not yet visible, Aishwarya.
Not yet, yeah. Now it is.
Yeah, now it's visible. Now it's visible.
Okay, great. So I'm happy that Tyagarajan sir, Jagannathan sir, and Ranga sir hasn't used any of the fillers and overused words. Great, sir. And many of us used these fillers. So nearly 76% of has used R's. Then 5% of us used long pass. And in terms of overused and overused words, so was used by 38% of the crew, like was used by 40.
Aishwarya?
We'll just give it another 30 seconds and then we'll move.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Aishwarya.
Yeah, sorry, my network is spoiled. Let me share my screen again.
Okay,
please.
Yeah, is it visible now?
Not yet, but
Okay,
yes,
so
we can see.
Tyagarajan sir, Jagannathan sir, and Ranga sir. Yeah, okay, great. Tyagarajan sir, Jagannathan sir, and Ranga sir hasn't used any of the fillers. 76% of our crew used these fillers and overused words. 38% so was used, and like was used nearly 14%, and was used nearly 43%. So this is what the overall report. I'll share this in the chat. You can have a detailed look on this. Thank you. Over to you, Dinesh, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. And certainly, by the report that you have prepared, you have just nailed the R counter report, Aishwarya Lakshmi. Perhaps Medlians they have used as 76% of the time and 43% of the time. Maybe we could all work on it someday. Thank you, Aishwarya Lakshmi. Moving on to our grammarian, I request Toastmaster Venkatesan sir to share his report.
Thank you, Dinesh. Once again, good afternoon, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. First, I'll start with the theme of the day. Team of the day was used by TMOD, Mr. Rohit, only once. And I'll come back to the bird of the day. Bird of the day used by icebreaker speech delivered by Toastmaster Venkataseshan. The second one is DTM Tyagarajan. They used bird of the day once. The cruxes in table topics. Gust Zakir Hussain was used bird of the day twice. Bird of the day. Unprecedented bird, he was using it in between twice. And the evaluator, Toastmaster Raghu, when he started, before introducing the speaker, he started the word unprecedented. Even in the evaluation, he made that unprecedented word twice. Just give a big round of applause to Zakir Hussain and evaluator Toastmaster Raghu. Okay, now the good usages. Toastmaster Venkataseshan was using the phenomenal outbreak of war. No, Toastmaster Venkataseshan was using it, climbed up the ladder, and he was using one quote, what got you are won't get you there. Exuberant, infamous, grieved, enthralling. The second is, it is very difficult to maintain DTM Tyagarajan's good usages. The way he was delivering is the pronunciation and other things, it is very difficult for me to make a note of this. The words, the good usages, transformation, innovative direction, phenomenal, outbreak of war between two nations, paradising shift, transition, splendid, perspective, mother of invention and mother of nature, astonishment, striking potential, magic bullet. And coming back to the next speaker, Toastmaster Jagan, my favorite evaluator, Medley Toastmaster's favorite evaluator. He delivering the good usage, stop there, steal, cyberspace, pilot bay, distinguish large files, like only the cyber squatters will come to know about that. It's a technical word. Intellectual property, magnum, whooping, ironically, unquenchable, inflicting, financial, and meticulously switch. He was using the good usage. In table topics, Toastmaster Shruti used influence, insight. Sharanya used insight. Toastmaster Priyadashni, true to ourselves, guilty. Toastmaster Aishwarya is inclination. Imagination, push of button by my dear friend. TTM Sunil Jose was using two good usages. Mingle, used by Gust Justin Xavier. Shifted to positive, our own Toastmaster Ranga. And Priyanka was using the black book. These are all the good usages used by tabletop speakers. And coming back to the evaluators, DTM Thomas was using black book, impeccable language, comprehensive communicative packages, revealed, supplemental, pursuing, and Toastmaster Sarvani using transition to pathways, passion. Toastmaster Raghu was using the word modulation, candid. Before conclude my speech, Toastmaster Dinesh, I would like to give the grammar tip of the day. That is the word called device. It's phonetically similar. The one is verb, one is noun. The first one, noun, is DEVCE, means an object or gadget or a piece of equipment made special purpose. The verb is device, DEVASE. Only one letter is different, C and S. Device means to plan, invent, or from one's mind. Example, A smartphone can be a handy device, DEVACE, for avoiding bug. For device, we need to devise, DEVACE, new solution to old problems. Anyway, I'm going to type it in the chat box also and display it to the members. Thank you for nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Venkateshan sir. You had a sharp eye for all the good usages used by everyone in today's meeting. With this, our tag report comes to an end. And now coming to the report of the general evaluator. Today, the meeting started sharp at 2:55, which is the Medley time. And all the guests were warmly welcomed by the president, Toastmaster Raghu. And the Toastmaster of the day and even the table topic master and the general, they had adequate information about all the speakers who were going to speak. And the Toastmaster of the day, he knew what the speakers and what they were about to, what they had prior information on. And also, we always have these questions: why do we need to add new members? When you have today, the icebreakers by Toastmaster Venkateshan was just brilliant. It just gives upon how much a new blood of fusion of the medley can create and come upon. And also the R counter by Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi, a new format for R counter. I would even request Aishwarya Lakshmi to share the expertise with me because it's just brilliant. New ideas come upon when new members come. And also the table topic master Periyasamy did a brilliant job with all his table topics. They were brilliant, and he called on all the guests as well. The only recommendation which I would give is that soon next week, possibly we would go to physical meeting, because for more than 1 year I think we are now stuck in the online meeting, and soon we are going to a physical meeting, and I'm very happy about it. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Rohit.
Thank you, Jay. So you have covered all aspects of the evaluation today, and thank you for your feedback as well. Now moving on to the next fourth session, that is the mentoring. So we all know how important mentoring is for all of us, not just in our personal, professional lives, but also in Toastmasters. So this session on mentoring will be moderated by none other than our own past president, DTM, Thomas Abraham. So panelists includes a very energetic, lively, and highly accomplished Toastmasters. That is Toastmaster DTM Sunil Jose, Toastmaster Priyadarshini Belur, and current president Toastmaster Raghunath Nayak. So, DTM Thomas, sir, can you please take the proceedings forward on the mentoring session?
Sure. Thank you very much, Rohit, TMOD Rohit. Thank you very much. Friends, it's a tough one that we have taken on to bite. Mentoring in 35 minutes. We will try. But the good thing is, have you noticed, between the TMOD and, no, between whoever it is, you had a fantastic testimony of what mentoring can do from Sharanya. So with that, I can cut out one chapter, why mentoring. Okay, that's over now. That chapter is taken care of. It's out of syllabus now. On a more serious note, what are we trying to do? I must confess to you that in the last 2 terms that I had some responsibility in XCOM, we could not put enough focus on mentoring. And I've confessed to that when I handed over charge. We want to correct that. Raghu and Ranga and the team want to do that. That's why they've given me this opportunity. Why? Because we don't have teachers. Toastmasters, we don't have teachers. We don't have examinations. These two are taken care of by mentors and evaluators. And imagine in this unprecedented times, our ability to interact with mentees and mentors has come down, which is affecting our performance. So therefore, what we have decided to do is, again, I'm not going to spend time introducing the panelists, because what I want to say about them is much less value than what they would like to say about mentoring. So I'll be matter of fact and introduce Sunil as a Toastmaster since 2009, mentor since 2011, district assistant judge, area director, and all that up to that level at the club level. Raghu, currently the president, multi-geographic experience for a long time. Priya, district level speaker from Medley, Let's have a largest, bigger smile for that. No, seriously. And speakers from other clubs eagerly get her guidance. I know that. As for myself, I've had great pleasure mentoring uh, both up to district level speakers and a few speech crafters, and I enjoy that role myself. Now, what are we going to talk about? We will talk about 4 aspects. And I must thank you, 2 people, both Jagan and Raghunath Mishra, for their inputs, which has helped me plan this session. Now, 4 things we will deal with. It goes like this. I am the timer, and I only have the red card and a megaphone. So you know what that means for the panelists. Each section, I will ask that question to one of you. You would have 2 to 3 minutes to give us a total comprehensive view. The other 2 panelists, if you have something to add or contradict, kindly put up your hand and we will accommodate it. I hope you like my accommodation. So this is how you'll do it. Starting from mentor selection, the process, expectation setting between mentor and mentee, project execution, what's the mentor's role, role play, what's the mentor's role, and we will all end up reminiscing our roles as mentees, because every mentor is a mentee, and our best experiences and best practices, all of it rolled in 5 minutes, 4 of us, 5 minutes, best experiences. That is the challenge. Here we go. Here is asking the first question on mentor selection. How do you select a mentor? May we have the president giving his views. You're on mute, Raghu.
In Toastmasters, we give the option of selecting the mentor to the members, and with their experience as guest and with their experience as a member, you can select the mentor. And I have selected mentors that way, because the initial mentor was helped with VP, and then I was able to select various other mentors. And now we have an opportunity even to select international mentors because of the online
Sure. Great. Who would like to chip in?
No, I would like to ask, is it must that we'll get an option, or is it also a good thing to assign a mentor to a new member? Because I've been asked this question. I would personally, because I got to choose my mentor, and for this, I would like to see both the sides. Is it also a good way that you assign a mentor for this? Because the new mentee doesn't know whom to choose. So when he's in a confused state, is it also a good idea that, VP helps him saying, why don't you go to this person and he will take care of you for 3 months?
Sunil, you have taken on all these roles. I think you're the right one to answer. Go ahead. I will chip in after that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think the best way to do is to give the options to the mentee first, because even if he or she is new, there'll be some meetings they are being through. But I have come across
Till Sunil comes back, may I add?
Yes.
Sunil, no. Once you are back, you can give us your thoughts. My thoughts are threefold. One, the VPE can chip in. The VPE can chip in when the mentee is not clear.
Okay.
In any case, VPE blesses it. If there is an issue, VPE will say, this person is may not have much time, things like that. The moderation is done by the VPE. And I think it's important, after paying $45, Sunil, take over. I was just holding the fort for you.
No problem, sir. So I was telling, I just wanted to explain, if the mentee find it difficult to choose, the VP education can chip in and then try to assign a mentor. So that is the best way. First, the choice is for the mentee. And if he or she is not able to do it, the VP education can chip in and assign a mentor.
I entirely agree, and I want to substantiate. Priya, in my view, new member is a new member. There's a in power play, they are a little disadvantaged. They wouldn't assert. So therefore, I think they must have the first right.
Okay.
And secondly, they know best what skills they want. That they see on the mentors, and then they pick accordingly. Because I know when I've asked people, people have said why they chose me, and some didn't choose me, right? So each of us gets selected based on what people perceive we have and what they need. And again, VPE blesses it. So there's a safety, in officialdom of the VPE, right? So that I think is fairly clear. That allows us, we now have a head start. We have saved some time thanks to our efficiency. We will now move to the more important detailed portion. And this I'd request DTM Sunil to address. The question is this. We say, I think so-and-so may be my mentor, right? So that's formalized. Then what happens? Sunil, could you please explain to us what happens at that first meeting? Hopefully, I wish it were a physical meeting.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Thomas sir. So what happened? I'll just start with my mistake. The mistake happened to me when I attended the first meeting. The VP membership came to me and said you will be allotted a coach very soon. So I was waiting for that coach for a couple of days. So the first thing the mentees should understand that this is not a classroom where the teacher comes to you for teaching, or the professor comes to you for teaching. You are waiting for the teacher. Now this is not that. So here, when you compare the balance, the mentee has to take the initiative to contact the mentor. It happens the other way also, but this is a self-learning platform. We have to understand that everyone has to learn. You are joining only for learning. Everyone says that I want to learn more. So the learning burden actually should come from the mentee. So the mentee should approach the mentor. How you should approach the mentor? We have a lot of ways, not like before. Take the phone and call. We have chat. We can have the mentee can have a simple chat. Send a message and ask for the time when like you meet and talk to your mentors or your boss or anybody or senior to you. So you can ask for a time to discuss an initial discussion. So that is the first step. In case and you mentee and mentor find out a convenient time, and then they can that's the first meeting. So in case the mentee or mentor misses that first meeting, either of them should follow. That's what I said. Okay, the mentor should not say, okay, let he or she come back. Either of them should follow and have that first meeting. So in the first meeting is or first discussion. I mean, it need not be physical meeting. It's a first discussion. What happened? That's the best thing happen in a mentor and mentee relationship. You have to agree on the convenient time for both of you. Normally happens like mentee ask the mentor like, what is your convenient time, and the mentor do not ask back. Okay, so both of them have to mutually fix some convenient time to discuss about mentorship or discuss about the club's role, the roles or responsibilities and projects, something like that. The second most thing is the mentor. The burden lies on the mentor. The mentor should find out why the mentee joined the club. There are certain whys. Why the mentee? There will be some purpose. Okay, and then there may be it can be a fear of public speaking or confidence building, or it's for improving English. People think this is an English class, and then it's for communication problem or for networking. So it's very important for the mentors to understand what is the mentee's purpose of joining a meeting or joining a club. The next thing they have to know each other's background, from where they come from. I mean, like what is the profession they are into, how long years they have been into Toastmasters, obviously for the mentor, and any other thing which they find convenient and comfortable. They can discuss that. And the purpose is to have established a relationship, a kind of convenient relationship, because it's going to be a long-term process. So you should be at the convenience. Both of you have that comfort level. Okay. Now, finally, so this is not ending there. The one problem I have found out is that the mentees may be suppressing things like they wanted to ask. So, for example, any of you are mentors, you should also note this. For example, about the club, they may not be, but it may be a 2-3 weeks. Okay, so they may not be aware of what's happening in the club, the Toastmaster jargon, or about the hierarchy. You're talking about TMOD, area director, DDE, all this kind of jargons, pathway, level 1, level 2, all these kind of things. And also to how to select pathways. So all this initial fear and initial kind of concerns come if the mentee is not asking, the mentor can ask. If the mentees, it's not a big deal, like, to start, it's not like going for an interview. See, the mentor-mentee relationship can start even immediately after you are given a mentor. The next day it can happen. It's not a big interview like process. That is what the mentees should understand. Also, if the mentees are not convenient enough or not coming back in 1 or 2 days, the mentor can take
Okay, I think I get that. What he's saying that if there's no comeback, the mentor can check. I think that's what Sunil is saying.
It's something which, Thomas, sir, which I also agree with Thomas, is that long-term relationship. It's that mentor and mentee, which in my personal experience over 2 decades, when I started my career, that is when I was in Toastmasters. And that's something which, like the past president, Major Mohammad Murad, there are a lot of mentors whom I still continue that relationship. And I used to walk with them, like, and it is not just about the project that helps you as a mentor. Of course, we now, because of the online meeting, we don't have that physical thing, but physical, where you meet them physically, face to face, and get it. But it has helped me a lot in building the confidence, and how do you approach in your career. So it's not just learning about just what to do in the Toastmasters or projects and how do you manage, because each mentor has its own style, right? Someone doesn't get into details of how a project need to be written and things like that. So it is different from different mentors, but it is a responsibility of the mentee on how best you utilize the mentor. And mentor, how do you show what potential that mentee has it? And that's what I have gained in Toastmasters in the last 2 decades.
Brilliant. So Sunil talked about various objectives a mentee may have. Here we saw Raghu bring in another objective larger than Toastmastering. It's life. It's almost spilling over to life. I would like to bring back the topic to what Sunil was talking about, the process, and ask Priya, what are anything more you think that should happen in the first meeting based on your experiences?
Okay, the process with mentor-mentee is a question here, right?
Correct.
I would say for me, it is, I would like to build up a rapport. Here we try to get time to know each other, to know what one aims to achieve in this platform is what one wants to know. Then I start acting as an enabler when it comes to his project and all, because I tell, look, I have walked this path, so I know what are the challenges. I'm here to give my ideas and experience so that you save your energy and resource. And when it comes to project also, I always stress on the objectives. That's when we start acting like a consultant. Look, we have these demands. If your script is meeting these demands, then you're ready to go. Because every project, as we know, one demands body language, one demands inspiration, storytelling and all. Then comes, as we all know, there is one phase after tweaking, then giving a final touch. There are chances the speaker fails on the stage and he has a full right to look at the mentor. You told this. And that's when we act as a cheerleader. Friend, it's okay. It's okay to fail, because that's when I try to reflect my experience. And I tell, look, this is what happened when I was giving my 5th speech. And this way the feedback is given to me. So more than giving, at the best phase is when we live with our mentor for a long time, we know his weakness and strengths very well, and we are able to, work on each other. It's like one-to-one learning and growing together. It's not that I have been a mentor. I've been a mentor for long. For 3 years, I had one mentor. I used to go not just with my project. I went for TMOD roles, TT master role, even the grammarian role, to see if I am doing, the job right. So I feel it's a long process. You need to have this patience and perseverance.
Perfect. allow me to take it back to where Sunil started, because to me that's very crucial. I also want to add my little two bit, which is Sunil was talking about how you look at each other's expectations and the bandwidth. Allow me to expand on this because we've not had this talked about for a long time. In my submission, both sides should agree. Sunil said that both sides should agree how much time they want to devote. Because my mentee, I asked my mentee, how serious are you? The other day, a manager I asked that person. He said, these are my requirements. He said, I'm good at structure, I'm good at this, but humor is not working. I said, I'm the wrong guy, but let me try. But that kind of a digitized understanding of what is required in my submission helps. He asked me, so I told him what my strengths and weaknesses are. Both of us found, for example, that visual I mean, I have my strengths. That person is also, he's into marketing, proposals and things like that. He wanted that. So, then what happens? It becomes mutually uh, enriching, enriching. The other aspect I want to kindly allow me to add this is this. Do we agree on a process? I insist on a process. That process is, first, let's chat. First of all, let me understand what that person's strengths and weaknesses are. Like you said, what his passion is. Rather than searching in Google and finding a topic, what are you happy about? Come with that. Then you will talk from the heart. So I insist on that. Secondly, we agree on the topic. What is a topic? Before you start writing, because I believe that we shouldn't waste people's time writing on the wrong topic.
Correct.
We agree. Then what are the main points? Before that, what is the objective? It's my personalism. I've taught this topic. I've used this touchstone called, after listening to me, I want my audience to dash, dash, dash. I request my mentee to fill that. Then we will know what we want the outcome to be. Once you know the outcome, intelligent people, we can sit together and work out a formula. So this is what I personally believe in. Since my co-panelists were very economical with time, I could chip in this little extra information. But again, if there is something more in this nature, and again, one more thing we forgot to clarify as a panelist we discussed. Question often asked, should the mentor correct the English of the draft? It's a supplementary question. I would take this around. Please give me your views, my dear panelists. Raghu.
To me, I felt it's where failure helps you to make it better, right? So it's something which you learn. You can only help them to say what need to be there in the speech and the way they present it. Otherwise, the naturality gets lost. Like if I give a speech writing to a person who is not so much fluent in English, he might not even be able to present it properly. So leave that as such, but you suggest what to improve in that speech and how do you get it in this more simplified way. And does it, as you said, does it meet the objective? And what is the message that he wants to convey? And those are the few things which we need to guide as a mentor, so that the mentee feel like comfortable in delivering it. And still, if he fails, you correct that. Right? Failure is the best learning rather than success. As you say.
Okay.
Sunil,
In my
go ahead.
in my case, when it has happened, when I don't understand the script, there are many reasons. Like I'm in a hurry, so I'm not giving you the full idea behind it. I simply do one thing. I say I would like to call you on to discuss this. Then I'll just take the phone and we'll fix a time. And I want him to read the whole script to get exactly an idea as to how is he going to present it before the audience. And even then, it doesn't make any good sense to me. Then I'll say, what is the idea behind the script? Exactly. Then I think when we go step by step, you are making that complex problem, simplifying it. And might be then he'll come to a bottom line saying, this is what I was trying to convey. Then I say, come directly to that point. Why are you taking this whole beating around the bushes? It has happened, and I have usually called that my mentee and I said, can you please read it out?
Brilliant. Sunil, I'm sure you would have enough to support this. Yeah.
Come. Okay. Actually, I had a personal experience, and in the beginning, I will say that this was some learning which I had from mentoring. That one one girl again, she had a problem with the. So I personally made the corrections. Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I personally made corrections like an English teacher, and I submitted to like a proud teacher. I was waiting for her to speak in the next meeting, and I found that she stopped the point.
Thomas, sir, you're on mute.
Yeah, may I chip in? Relevant, I want to just add 3 points. One, what Priya said, I entirely agree. There is no substitute for talking between mentor and mentee. Some things are never managed on WhatsApp. I've spent, when there is a fundamental issue, I've spent time talking. Like Priya said, suddenly you understand what the mentee is trying to say. That doesn't happen till you talk in many cases. Of course, if both of us operate in the same level, we can easily manage like in the managerial style. That apart. Secondly, I think we overlooked one thing. Today you have a manual. I insist on the manual being read. I said, please send me the manual because it's so complete. Without knowing whether we are playing 5-day international, 1-day international, how can we both be, playing it together? So for me, manual is the king. Third, there's a speech and there's a project. I'm sorry, I think mentors have the difficult task of requesting mentees to actually do the project and then report it in a speech. Often we have, I'm being honest, don't get me wrong, we deliver the speech, but the project and what needs to be done, which teaches us what we need to do, is forgotten. It's an unpopular thing, but I think as mentors, I believe for not denying the mentee the benefit that should come from the manual and pathways, it is our responsibility to please show them the way. That's one of the very few cases, that you sort of influence the other side. Other than that, I agree with the 3 panelists who said it more than one way, that it's the mentee who decides. It's a water tap. Mentor is a water tap. The mentee decides when he wants it open. The other day, I was talking to a manager, new mentee given to me from another club. I asked him, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to remind you or will you? He said, sir, I am very poor at it. Please remind me. So I have carte blanche now. Otherwise, I won't. So this is the kind of understanding we require. Allow me to add one more point, which was part of the previous point, which is there are different requirements different individuals have. We need to understand that. For example, some are not able to conceptualize. Some need some support in categorizing, similar points, categorizing them into silos. These are things we don't do in school. So depending on what is it that we can be of value, I think we will be of some relevance to as mentors if we discover that and agree with the other side and deliver that. Now, this may not come anywhere in the Toastmasters guidelines, but I'm saying as an individual to another individual, this is something we can do. I try and do. Your views, gentlemen, and the lady?
Am I able now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Bit coagulated. In between, when you drop, we will have one of us talking. Go ahead, Sunil.
Okay. So I was just telling. Okay. So what happened when I do the script and she delivered it, she stopped exactly where I corrected. So I find whatever she had, whatever corrections I made was not in sync with her hairstyle. So there, after that, I stopped doing it. I used to give only suggestions.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Sure.
So yeah, you can hear me now.
Yeah. Yes. So now what I do is I'll move to the 4th point, which I've been asked to lead. This point is, what is the mentor's role in someone performing a role? My take is this. I believe that Toastmaster meetings are exceptional in terms of time management and efficiency. Now, how can that come if all the role players do not know the nuances of the role? Now, whatever you read doesn't tell you the full story. And pardon my saying it, Each of us come with our own experiences of various parts and points in time, various geographies. So that get amalgamated and brought into a homogeneous thing called the club culture. So with each club, by reading Toastmasters, you may not get it. I think only experienced Toastmasters can explain that to the role players. So my humble request is, first time whoever is taking a role, any new role, I think a word with the mentor is useful. I'll tell you some examples. See, Toastmaster DTM VNS said, before you give the name, before you call a TT speaker, announce the title. How beautiful. Why? Because otherwise it goes against logic. You say, I want to call Priya as a speaker, and I'll call Priya and give the title. But VNS says, let everybody start thinking, if you give the title first. I thought it was brilliant. I pushed that myself. Secondly, R counter. My first role as R counter, I showed that one of the speakers used R or whatever 9 times. Next meeting onwards, I didn't see this girl coming at all. I said, my God. Later it turned out, she's on TCS. Later it turned out that she got an assignment in the UK. But I'm saying we can hurt people without meaning it. Somebody should tell them, you say more than 5. But how will a new mentee ever know, a new member know, until somebody points out? And this is enough to switch off a member for good. It's not small matter. Then, timing for roles. How do our new Toastmasters know the timing given for each of them? Then brevity. Such a lot we can explain to people. I asked the TMO, the speaker what he meant. All that is not required. We can help people to be efficient and therefore more effective. So and then visual support. Look at the way our counters are flying in Medley. We can see, once we approve, people are looking for validation. Once we say fantastic, then more will follow. So what I'm saying is to make Medley meetings a matter of pride for guests and members. We as mentors have a role, provided mentees feel nothing about coming and taking our help. Gentlemen, your views.
Yeah, when it comes to the roles, I always say every week the grammarian is the same. I mean, he's doing his role. What new can you add? So try to bring out that creativity. For example, we might be knowing Sharanya. If we all know, she's got a very good sense of humor. It's only after you get to know that person in few calls, we can say, why didn't you try doing this? She knows she has it, but she never tried, fearing. I said, there's nothing to fear. Try to bring out, it will be different, or else it's the same role. Thing is how well you can play it. So that's one thing I try to, I push them to bring out the creativity. I know all are smart at something or the other. That's one way I push.
Okay. Now we come to the last section. Raghu, you can take this also and combine it. 1 minute each for us to tell us our best memories as mentors or mentees, whatever you like. 1 minute. Your time starts now.
See, yeah, I think I explained it. I still cherish that time where I used to spend so much of time with the mentors physically, and it is not just about the Toastmasters alone. It is more about how that relationship builds and it develops you as a personality, which means. And that it also, as I said, as Priya and you said, the creativity which we brings in, and their experience in the Toastmasters and their other field actually helps a mentee, and that's something which I really felt that we need to do and establish.
Sure, brilliant, Raghu. May we have Sunil back, please? Sunil, your best memory.
You can hear me. Hear me?
Yes, Sunil, shoot. 1 minute for you. Your time starts now.
Okay. See, I want to give a different dimension for this because more than that, as a person, I feel like I have a lot of learning experience from the mentees, my mentees itself. So at least, I mean, I need not hide it. Many cases I can give you examples. This is not something which I say for the sake of saying it. I just say, okay, my last three, the current three active mentees in the club, Amita, Pranav, and Shankar. If you look at the people, when I approach them, when they come to me, I don't think like I'm going to teach them, I'm going to mentor them. It's my selfishness. I try to see.
Priya, your 1 minute starts now.
Okay, as a mentee, I would like to share this as a mentee. I was very new to the club, and it was the first round of competition humorous. And my mentor said, "Why don't you participate?" I said, it's not my cup of tea." He was like, "Oh, is it? I would like to see the script next week." I was like, "No way!" And every second day, he used to keep messaging, "I didn't get your script. What are you doing? When will I get it to see?" Just because of my mentor, I wrote a script. I had to practice, and I participated in the competition. It was a wonderful experience. And I see definitely, even as a mentor, there's so much to learn. When you recently, when I met a IT guy who's trying to join the army field, oh, his story was like, wow, I need to write this, use it for my script someday. And when you go to this IIT Madras, those members, amazing. How cool are they? I mean, as if, it's just the only push I need to give them is, come on, you are an IITian. That's it.
So, Priya, I'm going to claim my 1 minute and say this to you. I am least humorous, I know that. But I tell you, Azhar and Doctor were two mentees of mine who told me, "Sir, you're humorous." That gave me the guts to first ever time last term try for a humorous contest. I never thought I will ever do it in my life. I owe it to my mentees 100%. The guts, the gumption, and some way of doing it. Secondly, who is my mentor today? I go to Saro Velrajan for every speech I make, including a 3-minute small little piddly little thing. If there is no ego, I will understand a second pair of eyes and a head will help me. Who was my mentee for my humorous speech? Who is my mentee for this morning's speech? Mentor, my mentee, Jagan. With Jagan, it's a jugalbandi. You don't know the joy it gives me. I'm telling you, it's like a duet, except that we don't sing, we write. I'm telling you, there is such a lot of nuances. There is such joys to take the juice out of. If there is no ego, we can all make partnerships and useful partnerships at that. 10 seconds, if anybody has a question which can be answered in 10 seconds, here is an opportunity for anybody from the group, from anybody from the audience. Otherwise, I can still be within time and thank this very, very sportive and experienced panelists for getting this started. This is only the beginning. Use chat, call us up, let's take things forward, make Medley truly the best club in District 120. Thank you.
Perfect time, sir. I just said it's perfect time.
TMOD, you didn't expect us to finish on time, eh?
Of course, I did expect this. I knew that it would happen on time. So.
Thank you.
So, when you and the experienced Toastmasters there, I know that everybody knows that everything falls in place on time. So, all right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, DT and Thomas, sir, and the distinguished panelists who shared their thoughts and their best practices and who share their best practices about mentoring. So hopefully there is a lot of takeaways, and this also proves to be a little bit of takeaways for all the wannabe mentors as well. So thank you for a wonderful session. It was definitely very productive for all of us here. So moving on to next, it would be okay. Can I call for votes now? So we have had 3 sessions. That is for best role player, best speaker,
Yeah, the voting link is there, Rohit.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So sorry. Okay. So I'm sure that the voting link is up. So can you please cast your votes for the best speaker, best table topic speaker, best evaluator, best stat player, and the best role player. So you have next another 10-15 seconds to cast your votes.
I would like to take a moment to thank both Rohit and Aishwarya Lakshmi, who jumped in to take the roles at very short notice. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So if the voting is over, can we move on? All right, so next I would call on our President Raghunath Nair to take it forward with the, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, sir. Anyways, now I hand over this proceedings to our club president, so you can address the vote of thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rohit, and especially I completely need to really thank for taking up the TMOD role at the last moment and doing such a wonderful job. Let's give him a big round of applause as a TMOD. Wonderful job, Rohit. It's really good the way you took it. And though the theme of the day was some kind of intriguing, but you really explained it. It was wonderful meeting as usual, and such a session. So I wanted to hear, especially from the guests, before I announce the winners for today. Justin, you are there. How do you find the whole meeting?
Sir, really very happy to attend today meeting. I learned a lot of things, new how to handle the meetings. Okay, the way of present, new verbs, and so I would like to continue in Toastmasters.
Sure. Excellent. And really, yeah, it's so good to understand that you enjoyed. Murli, would you like to share how you find, how did you?
Yeah. I like the last panel discussion. I think, everybody told the key points, and especially the relationship and mentor and mentee. The last point Thomas sir said was, ego. Ego should not be there. It is both the ways. Mentor can learn from mentee, and mentee can obviously learn from mentor. So that was a very great thing. And the rules or the guidelines that was laid by the panel was awesome. They were trying to tell what, how they need to come together and how they need to proceed further until they reach the goal. I think that was a very great session for me. I think I have a lot of takeaways from that. So I appreciate the panel and everybody here. So thanks. It was a great session for me.
Excellent. Aishwarya, would you like to share how you felt the table topic for the first time? And
As a Toastmaster.
yeah, and also, I also wanted to get our new member Aishwarya Lakshmi to explain how she felt the preparation for our counter and the experience in last 2-3 weeks, because she's a new member in Medley.
Sure, sir. Yesterday only Renga sir told me to take up this R counter role, and he gave me all the materials. I just go through and prepared a Excel sheet, and and really this session was very wonderful. And in R counter role, this listening skill is mainly improving.
Excellent. That's one of the excellent learning. Good.
Thank you, sir.
So nice, that you enjoyed, and we really enjoyed the new things which the new members bring in. You did an excellent job as an accounter. And now let me, I'm not going to share the screen as such. So let me announce the winners for today. The best role player goes to Toastmaster Periyasamy as the table topic master. The best tag player goes to none other than Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi, who took at the last moment and did an excellent job as an accounter. From the best evaluator goes to DTM Thomasa for evaluating Venkat Session. The best table topic goes to Toastmaster Ranga, and the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Jagan. Excellent! Congratulations to all the winners. And with this imaginary gavel, I close the meeting number 616. We are going to start a hybrid meeting from next week. We have already announced the space is limited, so please speak to me or Ranga, and we will be able to help you with it. We'll continue the hybrid meeting. Have a good evening, and I close the meeting number 616. I will have open the chat.
Hi, Raghu.
Yes, Sunil, go ahead.
Sorry,
Yes,
okay, the hybrid meeting means we'll be having a streaming also? I mean,
yes. So we will have both screening and also we will be having physical meeting also. Like the space is limited. We wanted to try. So initially it is in one of the office conference hall. So we will have the live session. So some people go live and all the other joins in the Zoom meeting. So it's both. I hope I answered you, Sunil.
Raghu, one doubt.
Yes, sir. Sunil, your
one camera.
No, Sunil, we can't hear you.
No, Jagan was talking.